Welcome to JazzTime.com. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, and trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so you can easily choose the best watch for yourself in the comfort of your own home. We offer the lowest prices anywhere online. If you'd like to know the price, simply click on the links in the description below. We greatly appreciate if you'd purchase your next watch from us at JazzTime.com. Today, we'll be talking about the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Chronograph Daytona with a chocolate and rose gold and Arabic numerals and black bezel on a black alligator leather strap, reference number 116515LN. This is a professional timekeeper that does not compromise in style or luxury. This was one of the first two ceramic bezel Daytona models ever released, and it was actually discontinued in this configuration with the Everose gold and applied Arabic numerals. It was originally released on this leather bracelet, but the current dial is actually made with index markers. And as this is a discontinued model, you can no longer purchase this specific model from just any authorized dealer or any boutique, but you can still purchase it from us at jazztime.com. Follow the link in the description below to see and get one for yourself. Alright, so this case is 40 millimeters in diameter from finger to thumb, 48 millimeters lug to lug, and 12 millimeters thick, made of 18 karat Everose gold, with the back containing the typical screw down case back with 4 distinct hallmarks, one underneath each lug. I'll just zoom in on one of these here so you can see. And that's to show you that it is truly and indeed made with rare earth minerals, meaning, in this case, rose gold, which is, or Everose gold rather, which is Rolex's own proprietary blend of gold with other metals and oyster steel for that strength, durability, and long-lasting color that will last far beyond any other rose gold on the market. Alright, the right side contains the signature Rolex winding crown and 2 chronograph pushers for interval timekeeping. Alright, so more information on that function in a moment, but we'll keep talking about this. The crystal is of a transparent, scratch-resistant sapphire, so there's no fear of suit threads or buttons damaging the crystal. The bezel is fixed and engraved with the tachymetric scale, allowing you to keep track of event occurrences per hour up to 400 units per hour, either kilometers or miles, or any other unit. The intent for this, according to Rolex, is to be the ultimate timing tool for endurance racing drivers. So you can imagine that they can keep track of up to 400 laps per race. A more practical application for most of us, however, would be to, say, track the average distance over time, say on a road trip or a Sunday drive, provided your speed is relatively consistent. The dial contains lacquered Arabic numerals applied in black, set forth from a chocolate-colored dial with a slight sunburst pattern, only interrupted by the smaller subdials with similar radial finishing, also in rose gold, to set it apart from the sharp yet creamy chocolate dial color. Alright, so also note that the hands also have applied luminescence as well as tiny lume markers at the 3, 6, and 9 positions. This is made for telling time in a pinch when in a dark setting, and we can turn out the lights here so you can see that. Alright, and so there you have it. The large marker is obviously the minute hand, smaller one still would be the hour, and the tiny dots 3, 6, and 9 hour markings. Alright, so this is certainly not a model for nighttime wear specifically, but it gives you the option should you so desire or need it. Alright, so the crown contains that Rolex crown logo with that triple lock waterproofness system that keeps it waterproof down to 100 meters or 330 feet. Now, setting the time is relatively simple. Simply unwind it to the first position. Right, and this allows you to wind the watch should you ever set this down for a long enough time that it actually stops keeping time. Note that the small seconds, there's no actual seconds hand here, it's actually small seconds at the 6 o'clock position. And pulling it out to the next position allows you to then stop the seconds hand if you notice that it has actually stopped. And you can move the minute hand for precise timekeeping. Alright, and remember to push it back up against the case and screw it tightly for that superior water resistance. Alright, and just so that you know, the chronograph functions are active when you unscrew the chrono pushers for function. The top one starts and stops the large seconds hand in the middle for the chrono function, and a full revolution actually ticks up this minute marker that goes up to 30 minutes at the 3 o'clock position. And when that ticks up, it actually helps tick up the hour chrono dial at the 9 o'clock position, which measures up to 12 hours of time. So, very good function there. All right, so press it again to stop, and you can press the bottom pusher to reset all of the dials, except obviously the seconds dial. All right, and to maintain that waterproofness, if you ever need to jump in some water, simply screw these tightly back against the case, and you're good to go. All right, so the most important part of this timepiece that allows all of this to work is the 4130 caliber, made in-house by Rolex with a plus or minus 2 second time differential per 24 hours, which exceeds the Swiss standards of timekeeping with their own in-house movements and parts. It is a perpetual, mechanical, and self-winding timepiece, so you only need to wind it once fully, and wearing it will allow the timepiece to continue winding throughout the day. The oscillator contains high paraflex shock absorbers, high performance paraflex shock absorbers, and a paramagnetic parachrome blue hairspring to prevent electromagnetic interference, keeping the movement consistent in nearly any condition. Altogether, the power reserve goes up to 72 hours, so you can set it down for exactly 3 days. You can set it down over a weekend if you're extremely busy and you don't want to get this one dented or scratched up, and then you can pick it back up on a Monday morning for, to continue to conduct business, and it'll be keeping time just fine. All right, now note that the strap on this particular model is the black alligator leather strap, black on the outside and a tan on the inside with that very nice stitching that matches on each side, black on the outside and sort of that beige ecru on the inside. Now, given that this is leather, it is certainly an organic material, which means that its slow wear over time will actually grant you a very nice patina, which is a very natural wear of leather over time. So, which is specific to this particular strap, as well as your own particular specific wearing style. So if you want a strap that is truly unique to you and to you only, this leather strap is the way to go. But some notes about this strap actually. This is also a discontinued portion configuration from the Rolex Daytona. As I said earlier, not only is the Everose Gold with the black Arabic numerals discontinued, Daytonas are also discontinued in terms of having this black alligator leather bracelet. Granted, this model came with it, but they no longer make it, and that applies to the bracelet as well. Also, note that this also comes with the folding oyster clasp, the safety lock clasp. So you have that safety with the standard fold over clasp. And now keep in mind that the only Rolex watches these days, at least as of the making of this video in the end of 2020, the only watches from Rolex that come with a leather strap are the Cellini watches, which are the larger, more rounded dress style watch. And those only come with the pin buckles. They don't come with this oyster style folding clasp. And as those are dress watches, they want to minimize anything that is actually kind of unnecessary, at least within the dress watch style world. But keep in mind that the Daytona is not necessarily a dress watch, and so I think that's probably why they got rid of the leather bracelet. But if you want to wear your Daytona to a business meeting, you want to keep it professional while still wearing a very highly functional watch, you can still purchase this model from us at jazztime.com with this very functional, not only good presentation, but very functional, very safe oyster clasp with the leather bracelet, so you can keep it professional and safe and strong. Now, the difference between this and the Oyster Flex model, as you can see in the video we made for this same watch configuration, but with the Oyster Flex, is that the Oyster Flex actually flares out a bit more and has that raised part underneath to allow the skin to actually breathe a little bit better. And but the leather on this model has actually a much more gentle taper and stays relatively thin, making it more dressy. And you can't actually interchange the leather and the Oyster Flex unless you can somehow get your hands on the buckle or say this folding oyster clasp, which Rolex actually do not sell separately. You'll have to Frankenstein them actually if you want, you know, this specific configuration without purchasing, you know, this specific watch model. All right, and so while we're here, we can actually try this on. All right, easy as you like. And all right, so keep in mind that my wrist is about 7.25 to 7.5 inches, depending on where you're measuring. So it's about standard size for a wrist. And at a 40mm diameter, it's kind of large on me. However, the very thin profile does make this very nice. At only 12 millimeters above my wrist, it actually allows it to slip in very nicely under any coat or jacket sleeve, which is very fitting with the dress appearance of this alligator leather. So, who exactly is this for? Well, I would say it's for someone who has an appreciation for utility with its chronograph function, and with the Oyster Flex bracelet, it has a certain aesthetic to it that, to me, you know, tells of someone with excellent taste. It has that good balance of rose gold on top with the rose gold on bottom, and the weight distribution. Granted that this actually wasn't sized for me, but actually fits me very snug, very well. The weight distribution is actually very nice. It's just under the case, so there's no fear of this, you know, flopping around all over the place. So it's actually very nice, especially with that counterweight of this larger oyster clasp. And I don't think that you get that same sort of feel with the pin buckle that's on the Cellini model of watches. So, you know, for any Rolex enthusiast, this is an excellent showstopper as well for the collection, you know, just as much as the dessert that ends a great meal for the palate and the eyes. So, enough of what I think. What do you think about this timepiece? Be sure to leave a comment down below, let us know, and be sure to like this video as it does help the channel out. And be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell after subscribing so you can be notified when we go live with another watch video. All right, and it helps keep the channel going, but the best way to support us is to purchase your next watch in our online store at jazztime.com. Buying links in the description below.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to Model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model, and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.